Hello! How's everybody doing? Hey, D20, how's it going? Good to see you. Alright, so the plan for tonight is to finish... Alright, that's good. Plan for tonight is to finish up the last, or supposedly last, Sumeru quest line. At least the one that isn't the new one that came out, not the Dainslift one. Looking into titter pigs for my campaign. Huh. I've never heard of a titter pig. Interesting. More genshin. Oh, just TTRPGs. Gotcha. Alright. Let me just pause the music. And crank it up in game. Next week there will be another Genshin stream because she returns. Next week, on the 21st, where is it? This is coming back on the 21st. I will be pulling for her weapon, and then for her, if I have wishes left over. Maybe. Because I know that Ganyu's coming soon after, and I really want Ganyu C1, because Ganyu C1 would be amazing. So, she's coming back. Finally, it's been over a year. Alright. The night bird falls at Curtain's Call. At the Curtain's Call. So this is an interlude chapter, apparently. Let me just check something real quick. Okay, I did close it. Cool. Okay. Why isn't it showing chat? Hold up. No, it's probably just one of those lag things. Okay. Oh.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me. So all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma!
Yeah.
Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here's just going about their business.
That's
Maybe
the
it
giant
is just
electric
Paimon.
mine. I'm
Guess
pretty
people
sure.
here are free to research pretty much anything.
Still, let's go listen in.
Great! Let's go find out what this Tatara Suna mystery is all about.
All right, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. Ugh, if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Looking for me?
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
If you don't believe me, I'll go.
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking.
Really? Alright.
Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatara Suna?
Yeah, it was all
Actually,
electric-y and
we
it
don't know much about
endlessly
that place
shocked
either.
me.
In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
Ah, I see.
Sorry I can't help this time. I literally saved the generator there that was gonna, like, turn the whole island into an unlivable hellhole, which it basically already was.
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's
Or am I thinking of
difficult
the
to get
one with
into
the
because
giant snake, which I
Inazumans
also helped
don't
deal
know
with
much about
all of the
Tatara
lightning
Suna's
on.
past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatara Suna.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatara Suna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows.
No, I think this is the Snake Island, because I think this is about the weird samurai dude who you could go to and he was endlessly muttering it to himself, and you get free chests off of him, and then in the end you fight him and he disappears. Is this the same one?
Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a Kabuki Mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabuki Mono lived in Tatara Suna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kinda fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatara Suna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa.
Am I mixing up
Curiously
these two
enough,
islands?
It seems like he went missing too.
Could it be?
Wait, so there are two missing people in
Hey,
That's
Blue,
right.
how's it going?
What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Yes.
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
How about you? Not bad.
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the
Oh.
Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
There's more.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
This is exactly how I feel about Sumeru's story in a nutshell. Thank you, Akaba.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a
Oh,
human, but a puppet.
okay.
A puppet?
The Shogun puppet that the Electro Archon made should be ruling Inazuma with her as we speak. Kabuki Mono has to be the balladeer, but what was he doing 400 years ago in
Judging
Tatarasuna?
by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
That look. Yeah, this is actually kind of dangerous.
No! Wyman just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
We arrived at Tatarasuna around 3 in the afternoon. Oh my god, this is so long. I'm just kind of trying to skim the text. But my god, this is a lot. Novel. Yeah, literally. So I've been doing my sub-side run and it's going well. That's good.
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well.
Oh my god. Both of you. No, I'm not.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawana's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
It sounds more like a novel. Has this guy ever written an essay before?
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have?
It's hard as
of finding
balls
out
because
the
having
truth?
no sub-jobs is hard.
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing
That's
board,
the
I
fun
guess.
parts. That's neat.
Hey,
Yeah.
give me some time. I need
It's
to
a
find a
fun
new
part.
angle on this.
I'll leave you to it.
I have some other stuff to do, so
I
we'll
wish
have
you
to
luck
say
with the run,
goodbye
Blue.
for now. Good luck with your essay.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. But no promises either.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it?
Yes.
Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in...
What's wrong?
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like
There he goes.
the balladeer. No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
All right. Why is he heading up to the sanctuary of Surasthana? Talk to Nahida. Okay.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida, bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah, it's him!
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey, what are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be locked up? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me. A deal? You
Okay.
trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you, considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The Baladier's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond.
Wait a second. Farmer? You mean, he's not a Harbinger anymore?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
So he tossed you out like trash.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be.
Really? What a crying shame.
Well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him!
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you serious about this?
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit.
For me?
Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that?
Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui have not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the Balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able to find it more quickly.
What if he lies to you?
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him!
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all.
True.
Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it.
Thank you, Nahida.
It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside.
I'm glad I'm able to help.
Great. Thank you. Prepare
Okay, so we're going back to
yourselves.
Irminsul. Hell yeah.
I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Oh, we're going now. Okay.
Wow. It looks pretty different here compared to last time.
Huh?
The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
There he is.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Mahida sent me to babysit you, you little squirt.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely
So if I
careful
old
as you
Bernie
navigate
boy
your
from
way through.
Savalon, you got any tips,
I
Red?
know there are many grievances between you on both sides, but it is
It's been a hot
essential that you
minute.
remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
I'd bring double healer on that one. I'd bring double healer and try to go for the long play, just because he's gonna hurt, like, a lot. And he's gonna steal a lot of shit from you, so. Yeah. Understood.
Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Okay.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are going to be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
Good.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at a
Yeah, I can't remember what he's weak to or stuff,
If
so
there are no further objections,
can't give too
I
many
suggest we get
suggestions
going.
off the top of my head.
or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
There's no need for all the biting sarcasm. Focus on doing your job.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him.
Alright. Into Irminsul we go.
Wow.
Ooh,
So this is the inside of Irminsul.
it's different than what I imagined.
Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Alright.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost.
This guy has a cool hat. Do you get a cool hat? I do not get a cool hat. Also, hope you're having a good evening. Thank you, Blank Arrow.
Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
All right. There's just something.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Location's changed. Looks like we've been teleported to another path.
It looks the same in every direction.
This space is indeed unusual. It seems the Balladeer is more accustomed to it than I.
No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little?
Dang, I guess that's fair. Too much swagger if you let the player get that. Game balance is important. Yeah. Also, you have to have a reason to pull for him.
Huge tree.
Because he's got the cool hat. This is the center of Irminsul. All the information in the world is flowing
Lesser
through
Lord
it.
Kusanali.
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
Ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
He hasn't put up any resistance and seems good at working on the front line. Maybe he had a similar role in the Fatui? First Akaba and Sawada's stories, and now this. What a strange
The rest
individual.
is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
I don't like that smirk.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk?
Sure. Nahida, is this a telepathic conversation?
Yes. I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our head?
I'm surprised I'm not just hearing beans, 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 beans from your head. I'm guessing that you don't want us to disturb the Balladeer.
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends.
Mind Skype.
There's nothing wrong with
Mind
us
Discord.
talking like this once in a while.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladier's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
Yes, and he seems to excel at doing odd jobs for others.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers.
Is this about his past, the betrayals, and the other events in Inazuma?
Well done. Smart and attentive as always.
Actually, I caught a glimpse of a few things when I ran into Hypatia at Pardis Dii.
So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Are you gonna tell us?
Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatara Suna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
You tell Nahida about the story they were writing.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gese got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatara Suna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation.
We have every right to keep certain things confidential.
Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Well, fair enough.
Wait! How did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you.
Every conversation with you is hard work. But your attitude is better than I thought.
Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
Oh. What did he find?
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all.
Okay, it is the
It
furnace
may not
island.
pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
That name. Niwa was the man in charge of Tatara Suna. Plus he belongs to the Ishinard.
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow.
Okay, cool.
The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown, all passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you
What's
by
this
myself
Sumeru
and
dude doing
Akame.
here?
Yes, well,
Or not
were
Sumeru,
it not for
Fontaine.
you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me.
Yeah,
From
sure.
the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma. and it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
Yeah, just be Bernie boys.
So you say,
hey,
Asher.
nice.
But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I
Why
find
are
a
we
job
giving
as a
so much of a
diplomat?
shit about the furnace again?
Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act. We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias.
Let me
And
guess,
that
he's
I
from
was not from Fontaine at
Snezhnaya!
all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatarasuna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
It's the doctor.
If you kill me,
Yeah, it's the
there's no one who can get inside
doctor.
the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just
I
missing
don't know, I think the
a
doctor is kind of
heart.
suspicious. Yeah.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity.
Yep.
I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe.
Holy
and
shit, this
keeping the
cutscene's been
truth
going
from the
so
outside
long.
world. However, it is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake, even you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
So, Scaramouche was this guy?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity. Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Holy shit. Alright. Oh.
Hey, are you alright?
Dottore. Dottore!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good.
Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine?
I'm afraid so. He was the one behind the Tatarasuna incident.
But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
This betrayal was a lie that he has believed for hundreds of years. Was this part of the Doctor's experiment? If the betrayal never happened, it only existed in his imagination.
Give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
Okay, let's go over here then.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the Doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the Doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the Doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the Doctor's experiment, the Balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the Doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the Balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the Balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The Balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the Balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the Doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Just for context, for those that don't play Genshin, don't know what Tatarasuna is, it's an island where there was a mine in the middle, and there was basically just a giant, magically ecological mess. You couldn't go anywhere near the mine because it would just poison you. In-game, too. Eventually, I cleaned it up for one of the side quests in the game. So, being betrayed and abandoned by a close friend is sure to cause great resentment. Now we know what was behind his decision to take revenge on the Raiden Shogun so many years ago, but it doesn't mean that vengeance was the right decision.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Mystery of Tatarasuna.
Tatori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
A while later.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
He's so
Are you
smug.
worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend.
We just want to make sure this doesn't affect the plan.
It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Wow, what a shock.
Does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Ugh. Not unexpected, but still, thank you.
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
What do you mean by the
The
summoning?
Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was
Whoa.
a mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time.
The Jester, another Fatui Harbinger. Why? That's kind of big that the Jester was from Conria.
I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me.
What do you want to know?
Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head?
Are you trying to brainwash me?
No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past?
Wait, why would you ask that?
Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping me.
That look. Did he see me hesitate? But that was because I know about Greater Lord Rukadavada. Uh-oh, I
So
think
long.
by immediately
I
denying
suggest
it...
you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go
I
running
gave him
off?
the answer he wanted. Balladeer, stop! Paimon, we have to stop him.
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabuki Mono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
Lesser Lord
You know,
Cantaloupe.
I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow.
Uh-oh. Is he gonna try to time travel back to fix everything? I don't know how that works, but...
Oh no, he's really gone.
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
You tell Nahida everything that happened.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
Okay.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you.
No, I want to help you. Isn't there anything I can do?
I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
Paimon doesn't remember Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, and the Balladeer's question was a strange one. It's hard to explain in full, and the truth might be very distressing for Paimon. I'll skip the part about Rukkhadevata for now, and focus on the Balladeer.
He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible!
It's not easy, that's for sure.
Right! You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it.
Yeah, great example.
So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Paimon's so confused.
Maybe he wants to erase himself from history.
Huh?
Paimon, are you okay?
Sorry. Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress. But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul?
Not necessarily, but maybe. I'm just guessing here.
Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand.
Nahida
what
sounds
asked you.
like a toddler, but has
And
the
it's
vocabulary of an
still not
English teacher.
working.
That's Nahida, the god of wisdom.
Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him. There's no way he'll
She's a
actually
very young
succeed,
god. That's
right?
why she has an appearance of like a
Otherwise,
toddler.
Won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too?
Indeed, if the Balladeer does erase himself from Irminsul, many people in Inazuma would be affected. Worst case scenario, it will affect everyone with a connection to the Raiden
There's nothing we
Shogun.
can do about it at this
Or the
point.
Raiden
Hey,
Gokuden?
have you got any ideas on what we should do next?
Yeah, the Gokuden. Wait, does this mean they'll disappear?
Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep.
To be fair, Greater Lord
Like,
Rukkhadevata looked the exact
Paimon's
same.
still so worried.
Yeah,
Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight.
but they
So,
brush that
how
away
about,
as like some kind of reason.
we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things. Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish.
Okay.
Oh, and Drayan chili chicken. Almond tofu. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation golden shrimp ball.
Oh. can't spell balladeer without ball, so that means that the balladeer is ball and change my mind.
Hmm?
Paimon, what's wrong?
What are we... What was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. What was it again?
You were getting so worried about the situation with the balladeer, you started listing foods.
The balladeer?
Oh no.
Is that a food too?
Oh.
Weird name, though.
Oh god, are we doing chapter 2 again? Oh no. Paimon doesn't remember the balladeer? That must mean he actually pulled it off? But how did he have that ability? It doesn't make any sense.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers.
Oh.
Was it something Paimon said?
No, it's nothing.
So, the balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something.
That's not good. That's not good. If this is really happening, I need to know what else has changed. Paimon, come with me. Let's do the time warp again. I want to go back to Inazuma.
Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Now's not the time to explain. Let's get over there first. Okay, yeah, things are getting real bad. Okay. Yikes.
It's been a while.
Pardon me, I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Of course.
How many Crystal Guardians
ahead.
are we slaying? None here. About the ride in Gokuden, could you tell me that story one more time?
Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once
One
more.
of them may just have erased
The
themselves from
once
history.
renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now,
Okay,
2
so
clans
everything's fine
remain
in that regard.
of the original Gokuden 5. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Oh, yeah, we were! Paimon remembers that now.
Yeah.
We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too. It seems like such a shame.
Oh, hold on, I'm cleaning my glasses. What was the reason behind the decline?
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, he
Don't
told
care.
me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the
Tell the
there's
truth.
no harm in
Oh.
telling you,
Oh,
but I
fuck.
must warn you. It is a
I-
dark, and the Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
I want to fucking strangle these writers sometimes, man.
400 years ago,
God.
so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatara Suna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatara Suna was home to a state-of-the-art
This one's strangled
forging
the
and
old man, I
smelting
don't know why.
operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but
Okay, so
neither
that's
of
what
them
he
made
changed.
it out. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the
Average
story
Twitter
could have
user
ended
be
there.
like.
But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares.
Oh, good.
They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life.
Oh, good. So Kazuha and Ayato and Ayaka are still here. Cool. Drinking chocolate milk while hearing about tragedy is the best way to hear about it. Trudeau.
That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones.
Your parents just died
under
in
the
a car
dire
crash. Now
circumstances.
drink your chocolate milky. Your chalky milk. The legend of the Raiden Gokuden has changed. Someone else attacked the swordsmith. It looks like the Balladeer did something in Ermendol, but it seems Neela still died.
You wanted to ask?
Have you seen Kazuha recently?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact.
Cool. So he still exists, and it's the same Kazuha I know. Things don't seem as bad as I feared last night. That's all. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon. On to the next stop. Lead the way, traveler. Paimon will be right behind you.
Right. And so we're going to the Yashio Commission? Yeah. Went to the Kamisato estate. Oh, Hirotatsu.
Here. This.
Traveler, it's been a while.
Hello.
If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your time...
Are
It's
they out
fine.
on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commission...
What do you think? Shall we go in?
Thank you. We'll take you up on that offer. Can we take a walk in the courtyard?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I think it should be okay.
I like
heading in
Hirotatsu's
then.
voice.
Thanks.
He was a bit of a prick before, but yeah, he's got an interesting voice.
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say?
Ma'am, can I ask you a couple of questions? It
Of
involves the murders on the
course,
15th.
Traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you. What would you like to know?
How are the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato these days? Are you getting a little tired? Heard that yawn. Yeah, it's late for me. That's fine.
Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations on the Commissioner's behalf.
Oh, this old lady ain't
As
helping
for
her.
the Commissioner himself,
As for the Commissioner himself.
busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
So pretty much business
He's
as usual
found
in the
this
Yashiro
neat
community,
app
huh?
called TikTok.
Very much so.
Ayato's still the Yashiro Commissioner. Ayaka's still the lady of the house. No changes there. As far as I can see, nothing's changed in the Yashiro Commission either. I was expecting as much, but it's still a big relief to know that the Kamisato siblings are both safe and well.
Got any more questions?
That's all for now. Many thanks.
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than for you to come and visit more often.
Yeah, I'll come to your bulletin board and do
Miss
Chassid.
Kamisato
Yeah.
talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always saying how talented you are and how much she admires you.
That sounds like her.
I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you
I
arrived
like this
here.
image. This is nice.
So you're not
This scene
just
with
Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know.
Ten Shikaku in the background.
You're a hero to us all.
I'm flattered.
I mean it. Whenever the Commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins him. I always find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving the two of them and listening to them chat away. The Commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the
Oh,
chance.
shut up.
They say it's because Toma's, they get to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Always with a
Genshin
very
writers, take your
calm
meds.
tone. The way one would Miss Kamisato
Ah!
occasionally joins them as well.
Stop!
Whenever
Stop
the
talking.
whole family gets together and they start talking about people they've met and experiences they've had. You always
Stop
get
it.
mentioned. It's been
Oh,
10 years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. Much has happened in the Kamisato clan in that time.
We
As
confirmed it.
someone who is old and gray enough to have
Go to
watched
fucking
their
bed.
son and daughter grow up, it makes me
Put down the
so
pen.
happy
Take your
to
meds.
see
Go to
them
bed.
meet
Stop
a
writing.
dependable friend whose company they enjoy so much.
Oh my god.
So, in the future, if you ever do have
I
the
get-
time, please know you are always very welcome at the Yashiro Commission headquarters.
Yes, I
There
understand
will
this.
always
You
be
already
a
stated that. I am welcome at the
lady
Yashiro Commission
who
anytime
will
I
be
should visit more often.
delighted to have the pleasure of your company.
Thank you very much. I will visit again.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Paimon likes it here too.
I do not.
Also, you were saying something about the food
Don't-
here being
don't-
Paimon's itching
Don't.
to try it.
Nope. Nope.
Of course.
Nope.
Goodbye for now. Where are we going next?
To Tarasuna.
Great. Goodbye, ma'am.
I was thinking about playing Genshin, but now I'm just not
All
thinking.
right then.
Bro,
Take
where'd your brain
care
cells
now.
go?
Hope
You're not
to see
thinking.
you
What happened?
soon.
You should still play Genshin. It's very...
Are you
Oh,
two leaving already?
fuck. Stop. Stop.
Everything's taken care of now.
Stop.
Don't worry.
Very well. Safe travels. Goodbye.
Thank you. Okay. You should still play Genshin because it's very fun, but Sumeru is littered with dialogue bloat. That is going to be my main point of critique whenever I get around to doing a second Genshin review. for Sumeru is that this whole region's plotline is bloated to the max. It is so infuriating because it takes forever for anybody to say what they need to say, because they just keep going and going, and you hardly get to play the goddamn game. I just want to play the game. But that's not going to happen, because I'm going to go to this spot and we're going to be talking to more people. Ah, Xavier.
Well, here we are. But what are we looking for? Something or someone?
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that the Traveler and Paimon?
That's his voice?
Xavier? What are you doing here?
Xavier, what?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So what
That's
about
the
you
guy
two?
we worked with to fix the
Questions and thought you
ecological
might be able to
disaster
help.
I was talking about earlier. Do you know much about Tataris? We fucking worked with him to fix Tatarasuna. I would hope he knows a bit about Tatarasuna.
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth.
We fixed
If
the
there's anything
furnace!
you want to know, just ask away.
How well do you understand the history of this area? He sounds like he hates the taste of water. Why do you guys always have, like, the best insults for all the people in this game? Sounds like Golden Sun loved that series, but it had the issue of repeating itself and going a bit too long and explaining stuff when the player got the point already. Yeah, that's kind of what... Like, it's not as bad in the early bits. It is still, like, very talky, but nowhere near as bad as Sumeru's been. Like, Sumeru's just been...
Like the
Too
back
much.
of my
Word soup.
hand. Make no mistake, I have been here a good many times before.
You sit
Not
here
only that, but I've met
24/7.
people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all true.
Tell me.
Oh, well, it's a long
Of course
story,
it's a long
don't you
fucking
know?
story.
The
Everybody
tale
has a
of
long story to
Tatarasuna starts
tell.
a long time ago. I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation.
I'm gonna
Goes
need meds
back
by the time this is
around
over.
1,000 years. Still, the furnace has had a couple of serious maintenance issues along the way.
Serious maintenance issues.
When exactly?
I have
The one was
never
just in the last
heard.
few years. The other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back
The
in
opposite problem
52.
BD2 instead of not explaining anything, they explain too much. Yeah. Oh my god. Serious maintenance issue is quite the euphemism for poisoning the island with evil lightning.
They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a long way. How about that?
Yeah, mechanic, huh? Looks like the doctor still sabotaged the furnace, leading to the ensuing chaos.
Weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna? Come on, ask already.
I'm sorry, evil lightning? Yeah. The whole place is like... It's not like it's living. Evil lightning. It's not living. It's just the whole area is contaminated with just lightning. And will shock you if you walk in. And... It's like you constantly take damage when you are in the area. And it was just a nightmare to fix with Xavier. Or Xavier, as they're calling him here. I am.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today.
This conversation's out of order.
For a history exam or something.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge?
Pretty much. So can I ask one more question, or is it going to take you 30 minutes to answer?
Sure, go ahead.
Have you ever heard of a kabuki mono connected to Tatarasuna?
A kabuki mono? No, I can't say that I have.
Okay.
I do know the word, Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to meet, actually. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a Kabuki Mono where Tatara Suna is concerned.
Okay. So there's no more Kabuki Mono. Did the Baldir really manage to erase himself from history completely? If so, he must have wanted to change the world and revert everything back to the way it was. But so far, it looks like the majority of changes have only affected himself. Thank you, Xavier.
Of course! Don't mention it.
Oh,
Like FF12, but evil.
Okay, bye, Xavier.
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Okay.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for.
Time to go back and see Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Sure, but
Baladi's
what's up with
nuts.
you today? Whatever it is, it seems like it's really troubling you.
Yeah, it is.
Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will always be there for you.
Alright, thank you, Paimon.
Hey, don't mention it. Alright, let's head off and go meet Nahida.
Okay, if they had not included that last sentence, that would have been a really sweet little Paimon moment where she giggles and then do the fade to black. But they have to keep fucking adding lines. They have to keep adding lines. I don't know why they just keep adding sentences to every goddamn dialogue in the game. Stop it. I want to like your story. You're making me hate it. Ugh. Welcome back to Sumeru Story Streams, everybody. Getting paid by the word? Legit, though? That's not a bad theory. That could legitimately be the reason why. I would not put it past the writers if they were getting paid per word. Instead of per scenario.
Hey, it's them.
Normal people. I like water. Genshin people. I ever so do like the glorious taste of H2O. No. H2O is not enough. You have to spell out the entire scientific name. Why are we talking these two again? Yeah, because it's not enough syllables. You gotta squeeze out as many syllables. So it would be, I ever do so enjoy the glorious taste of hydrogen dioxide in liquid form. Are you still talking about the essay?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time. Obviously.
Can I say this? I'm a bit like, I'm still slightly fuzzy on what the exact details of everything were. They've explained it pretty well. I will say that. They've explained like everything pretty well, despite the fact that I didn't read the essay. Counterpoint, however, they wanted me to read two fucking short stories, one after another, mid-cutscene, about Tatara Suna. I like short stories. Make them optional. What, like, holy shit. I really hope Fontaine reels this in, because this is, like, annoying. Or as the ancients believe, the cold and wet element that Plato related to the icosahedron. The Genshin writers need to sit down, eat a warm buttery croissant, and go the fuck to sleep. You want them to go do it all over again? They'll gladly do it. I fucking hope not, but I imagine they're gonna. The same topic we discussed last time, obviously.
Still looking for more info about Tatara Suna, huh? Should we join them?
No, absolutely not. Perfect. Oh, fuck, I'm an idiot. I'm apparently an idiot.
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress.
That article you let me read last time is great. Can I read it again?
Huh? Oh,
I remember this. That was for, oh, look, this part's yellow. Looks important. A great many of these rumors evolved around the yokai, who are so very characteristic of Inazuma's folk histories. A very small portion, however, mentioned the word outsider. It should be known that the appearance of such a character, who is suspected to be based on a real person, is a very curious case. This fact drew the attention of the researchers to delve further, and eventually the following pieces of information came to light. A foreign mechanic once visited Tatarsuna. Okay, so this part is actually important. Reportedly, the reason for his immigration was to exchange knowledge and forge ties with the locals. However, the mechanic seemed to behave suspiciously, often wandering around essential or restricted areas. If someone tried to turn him away, they would only earn incomprehensible mumbles from his lips. The mechanic often stared into the furnace, seemingly to check on its condition. Unsettlingly, he also spent a substantial amount of time watching the local residents. Judging from the era, it was not uncommon to see cross-cultural exchanges of technical knowledge in places such as Tatarsuna. After traveling across the seas, foreign experts being welcome in the region was likely not unreasonable either. Yet calamity came not long after this exchange of knowledge, which hints at high potential for causation between these events. However, some of the current residents believe that these assumptions were merely the results of their forebears' overactive imaginations attempting to theorize how things actually unfolded. The mechanic, long have I delved into many texts and documents, but I was ultimately unable to decipher even a specter of a clue as to his background. Still, the mentions of the mechanic grew scarcer in the aftermath of the Tarasuna incident. I speculate that instead of the mechanic possibly being a figure woven from overripe imaginations, he actually did exist, and perhaps even had a hand in the events that took place in Tatarasuna.
I presume you'll want to read mine as well.
Take your fucking Ritalins. Hit his grandpa this recent. Game. I already ate it. Just. So these are just the bits that changed. But yeah, everything involving the Balladeer has been struck from the record. Content has changed. Another effect of tampering with the information in Irminsul. The Balladeer said he'd erase 2 of his names. If he really succeeded, it must have taken all of his might, but still.
What do you think?
A masterpiece!
Hey, Traveler, remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma. So how about we tell them?
No, I like the Balladeer. Sure.
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends in Inazuma, and...
Why does everybody have long stories? Stop sharing long stories. Stop it. Stop it. I'm gonna beat you over the head with a fucking stick, Paimon. I'm going to beat all the brains out of your bear. I'm gonna beat all the beans out of your head, and they're gonna plop out your ears. Because you have no brains in there. Your head is just filled with fucking beans and molasses. And they're gonna fall out your fucking nose and ears as I beat you with a stick, you gremlin.
Wow. So many new details. Thank you so
I like the
much
pyramid
for
in the
sharing that with us.
background.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a
Yes.
So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information
almost
actually
said the
lends
K
further
word.
credence to my hypothesis.
Don't care.
Evidently,
Don't care.
swordsmiths were
Don't
seen
care.
as having
Don't
an
care. I am
incredibly
smacking the
Yes,
fucking
yes, okay,
click.
point taken. You
Stop.
And they're back at it.
Well, you got some things to take care of for now. Bye!
Oh, I'm so sorry. Look at that.
Welcome.
keep us in the loop if you find out.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. But it's player engagement. It's not. It's not. This is gonna turn me into a fucking JRPG villain. At this rate. I'm just checking the chains. Holy fuck, Sumeru. What is your problem?
Nahida, we're here! Traveler, Paimon, how have you been? Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma.
Blue. Sorry. I was investigating the situation with the Balladeer.
The Balladeer?
Sounds like some kind of code name.
Oh no.
You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me?
Yep. You should. Even Nahida doesn't remember. Just like last time, any changes to Irminsul affect her as well. The Balladeer acted quickly. He finished erasing himself before Nahida could stop him. I'm the only one who still remembers the things that were erased. Once again, I am the record keeper.
Traveler? Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
There are things that have happened that only I can remember. I have to tell you the truth. Oh, are we going to tell her about Ruka Devada? Or just about... There was once named the Ballad... Okay, we know, just the Balladeer, okay. I think he had been thrice betrayed, left Inazuma to roam the world beyond. With no trust for humans and only loathing for the gods, he bore his grudges for years as he grew in strength, then returned to Inazuma to take his revenge. He tried in vain to become a deity with the Gnosis and ended up losing everything. Finally, he entered Irminsul and learned the truth behind his betrayal. Knowing now that his entire life was built on lies, he did the unthinkable in an attempt to reverse his tragic fate.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul.
Rip Balladeer, gone and
hoping that he
forgotten,
could
but
change
still
the
balling.
past. But how was he even able to do that?
He ballin'.
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul, the world would change to reflect the new reality.
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because... well, because he literally changed the world?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the kind of person who would dare go through with it.
I'm gonna call it now, before it gets revealed, like, 3 years from now. My suspicion is that Genshin's gonna follow the Bravely route eventually, and we're gonna get into the world is a game territory. I'm wondering if that's gonna be the case or not.
The Traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul, and it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect him.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
You can say that again.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was...
And I could have told you that from the deal between the Doctor and Nahida. Yeah. And I don't follow the game. Yeah. That's the big one that kind of tipped me off to it. I'm really not sure. We were enemies after all. I don't know his perspective on all this, so I can't say why he did something so extreme. Did he want to reset everything? Or save someone? Or did he want to completely undo his existence? Everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all. Maybe that's all there is to it. I still remember the question he asked. He asked me specifically, and my hesitation gave him his answer. I hesitated because I witnessed Greater Lord Ruka Devada erase her own existence, but I can't tell Nahida that. To put it another way, I know why the Balladeer was so sure it could work, but I can't tell them that.
Something else worrying you? Something
He's
that you can't
sad.
share?
I just feel empty. He chose such a radical option, and yet...
It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right?
Yes.
Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people of Tatarasuna. Now he saw them as friends again.
I like talking to you, Nahida. You just talk in a straight line, and I like it, because we keep going.
If he thought there was a chance he could save
And actually
his
say
old
important
friends,
shit.
it would be hard not to try. The
One could
story
say he's
makes
feeling
sense.
blue.
Every
Oh,
part of it.
damn it.
The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the Doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but retained the power to connect with Irminsul. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded
Okay,
in
Nikita,
their
now you're getting
and
bad.
erase himself.
You're literally reciting
even
what
though
happened
he
in the
didn't have
quest
much
already.
strength left.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it still ended in tragedy for his friends. It just feels so hopeless.
God of Wisdom, the only one
He
talking
gave
well.
everything to do this, but it seems like he got nothing in return.
Yeah, he changed the world in many ways, and yet the dead still didn't get its second chance. Those fated to a tragic end could not be saved. What exactly did he want to fight back against? The betrayals in his life? Or did he wish he'd never existed at all?
Please wait a moment. I want to check something. Found it. This should be the one.
Cube.
It turns
Nikita made
out
us a
that
time cube?
I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Surprisingly, the information is presented to you in a way that resembles a fairy tale.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
This matches everything I said.
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale that somehow has something to do with the Balladeer?
I'm guessing she wrote it
When
before.
combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Magic cube.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabuki Mono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the Balladeer entered Irminsul.
Smart thinking.
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the Traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew he'd remember everything. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one he told us. The now erased life of the Balladeer.
Yeah. That's a cool way of preserving.
There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed.
What the fuck?
Take this.
It's retelling the
Quench the flames
Tatarasuna
and
incident.
die for your fox kin."
The monster is
The fire was extinguished,
doctor.
but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good.
And the kitten is the balladeer.
Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon.
The drawings are
How
really
it wished
nice.
to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content.
The moon is the gods. Oh, here's the moon again. Ha ha.
The answer to everything.
Ah.
Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
I like that she used the moon again. That's clever.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the balladeer story. It is his very own
I don't
memories.
say something cursed because I don't want to ruin the moment, but the
I
truth
made
and
a
thoughts are
backup
strong
so that
help.
it would be preserved
Oh my
no
God.
matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a puppet. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
Cloud
The
storage.
balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, he still helped
Yes. Okay.
you. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
I've never had this feeling before. It feels like life is as insignificant as a feather.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around.
Yeah, you didn't.
Still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but the question still troubles us. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, guiding us toward a better destination. And that is what you have been doing all along.
Okay, thanks.
He is right. Cheer up. How about we go get something to eat?
Nope, I want to finish
This
this
heavy
quest.
conversation again later.
I will
Good idea.
fucking stab you.
Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head?
I'm not a dog.
You got it. Come on, traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking a walk.
Imposter. Sus.
Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits.
The Kabuki Monster's
Really
finale.
tough
Okay,
being the
I
only
guess
one
we're
who
near the end.
remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help.
Morgana P5 vibes? Yeah. She do be like the funny talking cat.
Unleash!
Except more of a gremlin. And less horny for blonde woman. I don't know, I haven't played P5. Go the heck to sleep? Not yet. Neither have I just know the memes. Yeah. It's not like stupid late for me, it's just...
We're here! What should we eat first?
I have a nagging feeling like there's something I'm missing. Something important that I'm forgetting.
Hey, are you gonna answer or what?
Sorry, it's just... Give me a minute. I'm still processing.
Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat.
Come on, brain. Let's dig this out. It's gotta be in there somewhere. It was something about Irminsul and deleting oneself. Greater Lord Vukadavada, Forbidden Knowledge, Hida. I do the same thing, literally in real life.
Have you figured it all out?
Yes, that was it. Greater Lord Vukadavada. She said that no one can erase themselves from existence, not even her. Otherwise, why would she need to create her own reincarnation in Lesser Lord Kusanali to do the deletion for her? There would be no point.
Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
No, I can't tell Paimon. She doesn't know about Greater Lord Vukadavada. This is a crucially important detail. It's simply not possible for the Balladeer to completely erase his own existence. In which case, the question is, what happened to him?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
There he is! You go to heck to sleep as part of the Morgana. Oh. Maybe I need to go to sleep. Ah.
Hey! Hey, wait!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed
I
my
like
boss
him,
two
he's
fresh
blue.
Sunsettias and ran off. Look, if you're gonna help
He's
out,
actually a pretty good
you
unit,
can't
too.
keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's boring for you? Or has the big city got too many distractions?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something?
Wait, Balladeer. Yeah. That guy is the Balladeer.
He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon
Balladeer's
I
back,
won't be
baby.
able to
Let's
afford to.
go.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outsider like me.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got
His
bigger
new
things to
outfit's
worry
like
about.
really styling.
Look, we're all out of Sunsettias, and I promised the lady down the street I'd deliver a fruit bowl this evening.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a moment. I'll be right back.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. But I figured you'd start asking for something in return eventually. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking in the sights. Are you a drifter or something?
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed. Sunsettias, was it? I'll be right back.
Wanderer.
Hey, what do we do now?
Let's follow him.
Okay, stay out of sight. Don't let him see you.
So, as far as I understand, if you do pull the Wanderer, as he's called now, you get to rename him whatever you want. Balladeer's more baller than ever, yes. Oh, I'll put on his character demo at the end of the stream if we finish this quest line up. He has one of the best character demos Genshin ever released. It's so good. There he is.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the Balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his Sunsetias? Isn't that a bit too cruel?
Shush.
Oh, alright.
I want to play Genshin solely for
This
Balladeer now.
should be enough.
He's pretty cool. He's a very interesting
Guess
character.
I should wash them before I take them back.
If I wasn't seeing this with my own eyes, I would never believe it.
Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us!
I wonder if... Oh my
You've been following
god,
me
what a
all the way from the
pose.
city. I'd have to be blind not to notice.
You're right, we were following you.
Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me?
Yes.
I have no recollection.
It's complicated, but I do know you.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
I can prove it. You're a puppet.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
For context, I'll give a little bit of context for people who don't play it. Because I'm kind of going through this and like keep mentioning the puppet thing. So the Electro Archon, the Raiden Shogun, created a puppet body so that she could store her consciousness inside and just go into like eternal meditation, while the puppet body does all the like everyday work, like running the nation, dealing with people, shit like that. It's basically just a robot. Scaramouche, or the Balladeer, or rather now the Wanderer, was a discarded puppet that was going to be the Raiden Shogun, but was not chosen for that duty, so it had no purpose and it just wandered around without any form or reason to exist, and then the real Raiden Shogun was made later. So that's the whole deal with the Balladeer.
You were right! The look on his face!
I guess you do know me after all. That's
Scarab
not something
boy,
I
best
share with
boy.
a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important.
There's somewhere I want to take you.
Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Sure.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it.
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's oddly nice of you.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Alright.
Then let's return to the city.
Yeah, so this is the Raiden Shogun here, actually. I have her unlocked. So see the similarity in, like, style? Or, like, at least the hair color? So he was going to be this puppet. Originally.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more. Who are these two?
Hello.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for a while.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. Even then, I don't understand why you're so adamant that you don't want any pay for it. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be and didn't even care that it was raining. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should go live your life.
He's not actually a water character. He's not actually Hydro.
No, you're right. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again for taking me into the city.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters over the years. I just hope you find your path.
Thank you.
Rain.
All right, done. Thanks for waiting for me. We can go now.
Where are we taking him, anyway? Return to the Sanctuary of Sarasthana? Oh, okay. Run, Shenhe, run! Overall, though, like, besides my bitching and moaning in that middle section where everybody was just repeating things, I understand it was for, like, confirmation to be like, okay, just to be sure, history hasn't changed much except for the fact that the Balladeer doesn't really exist. And I get that was the point, but they just don't fucking shut up. Other than that, this has been a pretty decent act. I'm being completely sincere here. It has been very interesting seeing the Balladeer, learning a little bit more about him, and the subsequent results of his actions. Yeah. It's not the best act of Sumeru, but it's up there. I would say third best. Then again, it is an interlude, so I don't know if it technically counts either, but whatever.
What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
It's just a complete 180.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So, yeah, quite an eventful walk.
You tell Lesser Lord Kusanali what happened in the Grand Bazaar.
You say that you were trekking across Teyvat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja. Why do you refer to yourself as a wanderer?
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... this is a difficult one to explain. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called, previous incarnation.
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past. So far away that you cannot perceive it.
Okay, I have to ask. What was I like in my previous incarnation?
A douchebag! That is,
Oh, okay. I see. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my previous
That's
incarnation.
one way of putting it. We're just trying to think where to start.
If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear, but I'll be able to handle it. Please, tell me the truth.
Imagine it turns him back
Is
into a
truth something
douchebag.
you care a lot about?
Yes.
Well, very straightforward.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. You adamantly believed that you were missing a heart. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
Nahida tells the Wanderer about his past.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to explain the world in all of its complexity.
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
No kidding.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
We were each other's enemies.
If we were
Preach.
enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met on the street! He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything. What a weird situation.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told me must be true.
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves, if you're willing.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
I
Even
feel like
though it will
filling
cause
this
your
vessel
present
up with his
self
old
great mental
ones.
anguish?
It's gonna make
Just
him
a puppet.
another
With
skirmish.
no heart,
You forgot
no
to
name.
save.
There is nothing in this world for me to cling to fill the void within me. Except maybe these sins that can never be undone.
That does not sound like the kind of
Very
juice
well.
you want to fill your cup with, boy.
As you wish.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my burden to bear.
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Okay, but we didn't do such a good job the last time.
Oh, good point. Given your, unique situation, we'd better keep an eye on you.
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone.
Teleport waypoint. Ooh, what? Okay, can we talk to them? Ooh, hello.
No matter what lies ahead, I'll face it. Whatever it takes. I'm
Time
just
to do
sorry
this
that you
again, I
have to
guess?
join me for
Yeah,
the
but
whole
it
thing.
looks like a domain.
It's time to get ready.
Yeah, it's a domain. The memories of a certain puppet. He can be the Balladeer, Harbinger of the Fatui, and he can also be the Kabuki Mono who was once sighted in Tatarasuna. Oh, we're going to get to use him. You're going to get to see how he works because they're giving us a domain. Yes, let's go. I got to play him a while ago, like months ago in Misty Dungeon. Oh, he's so fun. He is so much fun.
Looks like Inazuma.
I love playing Wanderer. He's one of the ones on my
Right
bucket
now,
list to
you're
get.
in a dream I created
Kick-ass
using
dream.
information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth, But be aware that enemies may react just like in the real world. Please be careful.
Yep.
Sounds like an immersive experience. It's a good thing we came along.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
It's fine.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your doing.
And now we're just finishing the job.
All right. Thanks.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the Electro Archon placed you after your creation. You had a great many memories here.
Is that because this is kind of like his birthplace?
You could say that, in a sense. You'll see why shortly.
Going into his hoard inside memories to find the truth Cynthia.
This place is huge.
Katsuragi.
I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. No mining crew would be capable of this. There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Are you injured? Not a scratch. And these fine clothes. Who are you?
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to Tatarasuna.
And the rest is history. Well, it used to be.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatarasuna incident.
Katsuragi
No, let me play as him!
He looks
Damn
like
it.
a warrior, but he has a kind face.
That's unfortunate.
Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Damn you! Let me try him. Maybe he doesn't have a vision yet. Maybe he'll get one
Nagamasa,
in here or
I
something.
found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Keep exploring. Ooh.
Huh? What are we doing back here?
I hear voices.
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty, but there's nobody here.
I was abandoned, like you. I
Oh,
lived here
this
for a
is the
while at
kid.
first, but there's nothing for us here.
Booger portal.
We can't stay.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died, and then my dad got sick. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing too.
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup, we're family now. We're gonna be together forever and ever.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the Balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. Some of the neighbors helped to raise him. After leaving
COVID be like,
Tatarasuna,
bruh.
The balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child then?
Died.
He died from his illness while he was still very
Oh, the
young.
color change.
The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped.
Ugh.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too.
Child carcass.
The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
We're just gonna end up recreating Scaramouche. Like, at this rate. Just double checking to make sure I don't miss a chest. Cool. Oh! Head towards the next memory.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been
The
waiting.
Jester. Oh!
What you are truly.
Here, you want to see what the red Shogun can do? Watch this.
One that could be wielded with an iron will.
Damn, that's... Oh, because it is an electric tube, that's why. And this was Geo.
Are you trying to win me over?
Long and fated rebellion has...
That was a bad example.
Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Is that coming?
Oh, hello.
Well met. You can't run to fulfill
There is no escape. Obey.
Don't be a killjoy. We've only just begun.
Shine down.
You can't run.
Unleash.
Miscalculated.
Chest. Oh, we're back in this room.
This place is dark.
Paimon knows this place. It's the Delusion Factory in Inazuma.
Die, ding
In the
dongs.
original version of events, the Traveler once encountered the balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so familiar.
I remember this. It was an unsettling place.
Hey, look over there.
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and
Senora.
these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain
Haunted
from
house
belittling
real.
your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are a part of this plan. Perhaps you find fighting in the Abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the Doctor.
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible, and don't let your emotions get in the way.
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else. By then,
Senor is
see
looking
you
so
at the
good in that
victory
outfit.
feast.
Senor is pretty cool. Close second to Balladeer.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire, talking to
Fatui
me
have
like
good
that.
designs.
Who does she think she is? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
And that was when we arrived and got suppressed by him.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as
Okay,
much
here,
fun
watch
to be
this.
around as a raging inferno.
There goes like
Before we murder each
3/4 of that guy's
it'd be
health in
best
one
if we
hit.
finish our
With no
duties.
buffs.
Absurd! There is no escape!
And then I can just do it again because her cooldown is extremely low. They got good designs, but I'm just biased about it. No, that's fine.
Let me amuse you. Oh, now you've got me worked up.
Why are these things so fucking horny? Ah. Headshot.
The systems shine no longer.
There's probably a chest there that I missed, but oh well. Okay, we're
Looks
getting
like
close to
we've
the
arrived
end.
in Sumeru.
Yeah, I remember this.
Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trivial affair.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible. In the event that a successful connection is established, his body will become permanently bound to the machine, and he will be unable to move independently of it.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to garner a great deal of
Okay, I
information.
know the Doctor's evil and a weirdo, but like
Alas,
he's in
after
blue, so I
that,
like
you
him.
were under orders to remain in the abyss. We barely saw each other, and it became difficult to further refine the knowledge I had gained.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you, apart from your crazy experiments?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
The doctor again? That was uncomfortable to watch.
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
He's the Doctor. He's behind all of this.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon. Let's move on.
We're gonna see him in his god form.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and puppets?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass.
Are you saying...
Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self.
Is this the true meaning of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's words? A person can't erase themselves, and even though the original Balladeer is gone, this person will live on in his place. Are a person's sins an inescapable part of their destiny too?
I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most
I haven't
people.
simped in a long time for them both too.
But for all my soul searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours.
Alright.
You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright?
Uh-oh. Boss fight time. We've already fought this thing before. Is it coming back to life because he's becoming Scaramouche again? Oh, nice. Nice.
Hey! Are you done yet?
Uh-oh.
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
still alive. Did he just get a vision? He got a vision! Oh my god, he earned a vision!
Die.
Oh, oh no! Are we getting to use him to fight? Yes! Let's go! So he shoots out. Oh my god, yes! He's so based. And then we take flight. He can fly. He's so fun. What's a vision? A vision is that little jewel that came down from the sky and gives characters in Teyvat their elemental powers. The special thing about the Traveler, your main character, is you don't have a vision, but you can use elemental powers. Good thing I hit the food there at the end. I gotta save the flying. I'm so happy they're letting us use him at the end. Oh. Okay. Omen at Memory's End. Oh, hell yeah. What a cool name.
Squall and Fury.
This is pretty tough, though.
My endless cycle begins!
Come on, ult.
Unsightly and insignificant past! How amusing. Quit following me.
I don't think I'm using him correctly, but I can't remember how you're supposed to use him. His ass ran. Alright.
You're dead.
Almost there.
Insignificant past. Behold.
Okay, that one's done. Might have to do phase 2. We'll see. I don't think so.
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
He's back to his old self. Okay, yeah. That's it.
Did we win?
Cool.
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too! What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am.
L plus ratio plus no vision, no bitches? Imagine. Now you've recovered your memories, the past will catch up with you.
You sound like you're concerned about me. But don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Alright. Hell yeah. That was good. That was a good quest. Now it's just gonna be the ending cutscenes.
Welcome back, Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer. It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted. You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it.
You won't go by the Balladeer anymore?
After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the 6th is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
Let's call it a tactical retreat.
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it.
Nahida doesn't see you in that way.
Oh right, I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into justice and all that. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered.
Sweet.
Including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well.
Thank you. Let's hope you can find some answers.
I will try.
Traveler.
Yes?
After I dove into the information torrent in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma?
Because I wanted to know what you'd changed.
So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how? Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back.
I didn't do all this for a reward. Please don't make it sound like I'm extorting you.
Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
I hope you can give Nahida a chance.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
Yeah, off he goes.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
Awesome.
I'm
We
glad
love to
that
see
you've
it.
accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too.
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking.
Hey, Scar's on the team. Let's
Traveler and
go.
Paimon have
Well,
helped you a
I don't
lot.
get him permanently.
If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
Huh? You want us to decide? Wait, do I get to decide here?
Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Am I actually naming him?
Have you got anything?
Oh, wow. There's a limit on the number of times you can rename this character, so do so with care. Oh, wow. Okay. You obtain the item in a appellative stroke from the archon. You change Aeon's Adrift Wanderer Animo's name. Okay. We get to change his name. I thought you got to change his name when... Oh, wow. Huh. Let's see. What would be a good name? Call him Ballardeer? I'll leave that for you, but I think I have a better Samskara. Like Samsara, like what he did, what the scholars did to the people of Sumeru. But it's Scaramouche. Samskara. That's the first thing that came to mind. Sweet name. You guys like that one? I'm just gonna take a screenshot. Oh, that added a hashtag. Oops. We'll go with this. It says I can change his name a couple of times, so I'll go with this for now because I can't think of anything better. But I think that's
Are you
fine.
sure?
Yes, I think this will do.
Oh, all right. If you say so.
There. Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Still thinking. Stop rushing me.
Take your time. I don't need to see you again
Hashtag
until you've thought of one.
Nerd. Hashtag. Redo the fandango. What do you plan to do next?
Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, they ought to know about the connection between Raiden Gokuden and myself. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, Please tell them that I was the one responsible for the Raiden Gokuden's downfall. Even though the events have been erased from the world, they still deserve to know the truth.
I see. That is up to you. Huh? But if we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been.
Fine.
No nonsense. I like it. All right, let's call it a day. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
Hmm.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce anymore.
There were some bumps along the way, but it's all over now.
So we can finally go eat? Paimon is starving.
You really don't think of anything other than food, do you?
Thank you both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax for a while.
I'm pretty sure there's like one more cutscene at least. Because there's an image in my head that I don't think I've seen yet. Oh yeah, sunset, yeah.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You mean because everyone else in the story is dead?
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and drinking. All these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime. Life is a story too long to be told, a journey that you must walk to behold.
Return to the resting place. Alright. We're almost to the end, everybody. This was a good quest. This was good.
It's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back.
Rest up, Paimon. I'll buy some delicious treats as a reward.
Wow, great! Huh? Look at the vase.
What about it?
Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? But Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
That night we stayed here, Paimon bumped into the table after being startled by something to do with the balladeer and broke the vase. But the balladeer erased his existence. He changed the world. So why is this vase still
lost and confused.
Who's that? Yeah.
I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Who is this? Is this the Tsaritsa?
Is there someone here talking to us?
Or the Heavenly Principles?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance. But for anyone else...
Who this? I don't know.
Who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate. like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who are you? How do you know about
I
all this?
think it's the heavenly principles.
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
The voice has disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff?
Believe my eyes? Does she mean I should trust my memories?
Anyway, that face is still lying there broken on the ground. Should Paimon go get someone to clean it up? It feels wrong just leaving it there. Just a moment. Paimon will be right back.
I wonder what else awaits me in the future. And that is the end of Inversion of Genesis. Good quest. That was legitimately good. There's that one section in Inazuma that was like really pushing it, but it was pretty good. Me, myself, but not I. Neat quest, yeah. And I will now show you off the 60 gems. Hell yeah. Oh, and I get another wish for free because I completed next part. Let's go. I get another one when I complete Caribou, which will probably stream next week. We're saving up wishes right now. We got a lot of gems. We got a lot of wishes because we're saving up for next week on the 21st. Wordy but a goodie. And now I will show off the Wanderer trailer for his character demo because it is an amazing trailer, and that's how we will end off the stream. So just a moment as I try to transition over. Is it going to do it? Nope, I have to do it manually. Okay, cool. As always. Always turns off. Oh, the hotkeys. They never survive past an hour. Alright, just a second. Yeah, my own stream showed up on the bar. Right, just a moment. Oh, goodness. This one. Bugger. This is the character demo for the Wanderer. And we will end it after this comes to conclusion. Actually, I'll put on subtitles.
Hey, you there! We heard there's an inn near here. Gonna need you to show us the way. Huh? We won't ask twice.
Two big, strong Fatui, asking me to be their chaperone. Is this some kind of joke?
Think you're funny, do you? You'll regret that!
Sure I will.
So much.
The wind rises.
You'll die 1,000 deaths for this!
I look forward to that. Sadly, you won't be there to see it! What a waste of space. Just as useless alive or dead. You were looking for trouble. No one to blame but yourselves. Huh? We're done here. Next time you're looking for directions, I suggest you find your own way.
And that is it. That is everything. Dope. Yeah, that is like one of the best character demos in the game. It's so good. Especially when you've seen the Raiden Shogun one. I'm not going to show it tonight, but if you go back later and you watch the Raiden Shogun demo and compare it, there are a lot of similarities, which is just a really cool way they tied those two together. But yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. I will be streaming on the 21st when the new banner comes out because my favorite character, Shenhe's banner, is returning. I'm big excited for that. I'm going to have to grind out some more over the weekend. I may stream on the weekend. I don't think I am because I don't really give that much of a shit about streaming Windbloom. But I'm going to probably like force myself through it to get primos and stuff. So there is that. Thank you all for coming on out to watch tonight. I hope you had a great time. Make sure to leave a like button on your way out. It helps with the algorithm in the future and all that. And follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, subscribe so you can join more streams, or if you like my content, all that good stuff. Thank you all for coming on out. Much appreciated. Have a good evening and a great weekend. I'll see you all soon.